Hey y'all, welcome to Technique by Cowboy. I'm excited to bring you a new kind of impromptu video today. So I'm at the house of one of our cheer parents, hanging out with our friends, and we started talking about this new YouTube channel. And they asked me, is this something that you can actually do in your house? Like, what's the real life application of this process? And I said, absolutely. All of these drills are isolated to where you can safely perform them in your own home. You can use any type of a surface, you can do anything because we're focusing on strength and movement. And I said, hey, is Emma home today? We could use her, we could make one right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna learn how to have perfectly straight legs in a back walkover with Emma. Here we go. Okay, so what we're gonna do is figure out how to strengthen the correct muscles to perform the correct shapes throughout this back walkover. Now, these drills, they're not glamorous. There's nothing magical about what we're doing, but what we're doing is identifying and isolating the correct strength and shape movements that you're gonna need to use in your back walkover. Now, a lot of coaches will tell you, use straighter legs when you do your back walkover. Have you ever heard that, Emma? Yeah, a lot of times. They'll say, try again. Your legs weren't straight, try again. Now, use this example. If I told you that your goal was to ride a unicycle while juggling, but you didn't properly know how to juggle, would that goal be attainable? Absolutely not. So first, we have to learn how to juggle correctly, then we add the unicycle. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna identify these leg shapes and give you some drills to strengthen not only the shape, but also the movement, but with an isolated body position. So the first thing that we need to do is identify what the correct muscles and shape are in these leg positions for our walkover. Now, Emma's gonna place all of her body weight over her back leg, and she's gonna extend her front leg forward just a few inches, pointing her toe. Now, I want you to make sure that you're pushing your toe as far away from your ankle as possible. That's how we get the strongest point. And then start to flex the top of your thigh. We're gonna start squeezing our quad muscle, and that's what extends your leg out to make sure that we have the straightest leg possible. This is the shape that we need to identify first, as shown here by Emma. This is perfect. Next, we're gonna figure out how to lift the leg with this isolated position. Now, she's gonna use her hip flexor, the top outside piece of her thigh, to lift this leg without changing the shape of her body at all. Now, as she moves, Emma, go ahead and lift this very slowly for me. You can see her kick is not very high. Now, she's way more flexible than this, but this is her strongest point. So when she lifts, her hips are in line with her leg, her shoulders are still over her hip, and her body is still up and down in a perfectly straight line. Go ahead and lower that back down slow. Now, I want you to go ahead and try these at home. Do 5 to 10 of them. Lift, hold for a few seconds, and then bring back down. Go ahead and do that for me one more time, Emma. Lift, hold for a few seconds, and bring back down. Now, this is what we don't want to see. This is your guess and check method. Emma, when you kick that, will you kick a little bit harder for me so that your knee bends and you push some weight into your toe? So now, as she kicks, you can see how her leg extends forward with that bottom knee. Her weight is shifting into her toe, and now she's utilizing different muscles to perform this exercise. This is what we don't want. So as you're working on these initial leg lifts, make sure that your shoulders, hips, ankles are all performing weight into your heel so your body stays up and down the entire time you lift into your lift. Okay, so the second way that we're gonna learn how to increase this body movement is with speed. So our first leg lift exercise was isolation to increase strength. Now, what we're gonna do is take any object. We use a couch cushion because this is easily accessible to everyone. Now, Emma, I want you to use that same foot and lift your leg slightly off of the cushion so that there's no pressure in the foot. Perfect. Now, this time, instead of a slow lift hold, I'm gonna ask her to do a fast kick and immediately drop back down, but only as high as she can kick without changing her body shape at all. Go ahead. Good. Now, when that happened, did you notice how her shoulders slightly leaned back? This means that she's initiating movement into her hips, and we want it to stay in the front of her hip flexor. Go ahead and try that again. Keep those shoulders. Yes. Now that was perfect. Her kick was slightly lower, but it was performed correctly. So like I said, this is not a glamorous drill. This is a hard work drill. You have to find the correct positions and then rep them consistently over and over. So again, we're gonna utilize this exercise in sets of 5 to 10, depending on how strong your leg is, and then alternate to the opposite leg as well. Now, we're gonna implement 3 strength drills just to strengthen that quad muscle into the shape of the leg that we're gonna use. So I got a stretchy band. You can use rubber bands, you can use a TheraBand, you can use stretchy, anything that's elastic, it really doesn't matter. So we wrap that around the front of Emma's front leg, and then she's standing on the back of the other piece. So I'm gonna ask her to lift her leg up into a 90-degree angle at her knee, and then extend her leg forward until her knee goes flat. Go ahead, point your toe, extend your knee, good. So this is activating the quad muscle to engage strength, but not only just her quad, she's also isolating her core and utilizing balance in that back leg all at the same time. Now, in the kick drills earlier, I had Emma pushed up against a surface so that her back was unable to move. Now she's freestanding. This is important because this is developing not only the quad, but also engaging a core to help balance while moving into this exercise. So this will be good to do again in sets of 3 or 4, in reps of 5 or 10. The higher you lift your leg, the more resistance you're going to have, the harder this exercise is going to be. The lower your leg is, the easier that this exercise is going to be. Okay, for our next strength exercise, Emma's going to perform reverse lunge pulses. Now, what we're doing is we're taking one foot, extending it behind the body to get both knees at a 90-degree angle. When Emma gets to this reverse lunge, she's going to do 3 small pulses without her back leg touching the floor, and then pushing off of that toe to come back to an upright position. Go ahead and do that for me, Emma. Very good. And then she's going to alternate legs. Go ahead and do that again. Every other time. So she'll step and then switch. Step back to 3 pulses. Her back leg is not touching the floor, trying to get both knees to a 90-degree angle each time. Now, this is also exhibiting core strength, but isolating the quads on both legs to increase strength while moving the legs. So for our last strength drill, what we're going to do is you're going to put your feet up onto a surface in a handstand. Now, you can use a table, you can use a desk, you can push your feet up against a wall. Whatever your parents are okay with you using is totally fine. So we're going to utilize the same desk that we've used before. I'm going to ask Emma to put her feet up onto the desk with her hands below her hips into a 90-degree angle of her handstand. Go ahead. Now, this is important to walk your hands all the way under your hip line, and then make sure that your eyes are behind your body up towards your toes. Now, as you do this, you're going to keep your shoulders open and then bend the legs to draw the hips towards the toes and then extend the legs back up. Now, we're isolating a few different things here. We're isolating the quads to build leg strength in the bend and extend process. Go ahead and do a couple more, Emma. And then we're also opening up the shoulders for strength and flexibility and utilizing the core to hold our body stable during this process. Now, Emma's a very strong athlete. She has full control of her handstand, so performing this on a wood floor was not a problem for her or her parents. However, if you do want a safer method, make sure that you use carpet or a mat or put a pillow underneath there in case you need to come down. Go ahead and come down, Emma. That's kind of hard, right? Yeah, these will help you. Good job. So I know if you use these drills, it's going to make your body stronger and you're going to get more able to produce these shapes not only in stagnant movement, but also throughout your skills. So I asked Emma to perform a back walkover. Now she already has a back walkover, but I want you to see how she's integrating the squeeze of these muscles and the point of these toes to make the strongest straight leg pointed toe back walkover that she could possibly do. Go ahead, Emma. Very good, very good. So thanks for joining us today. I'm Cowboy, and I'll see you next time.